What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Catcher from Demon Shinobi. How y'all doing today? So, let's just cut all the chatter. I've been watching a lot of the new cyberpunk trend that everyone's been into lately, and also on top of that, this huge, debate between on the two greatest legends, other than Johnny Silverhand, in this game or in this universe, which is V or David, who will win a death battle. So, I got all the facts that I can get right now at this very moment because there's not that much on Vincent, who is aka V, to really go off of because of the factor that, he wasn't supposed to be, they weren't supposed to be predominantly, a male or a female. Depending on Vincent or Valorant, depending on, if you choose the male or female version, they are uniquely built to whatever they necessarily be. But they are a psychopathic, huge humanity, cyber psychosis, and also freaking psychopath, killer merc. To those that don't understand, in the format for Cyberpunk, the game itself, there are skill trees and everything else. Once you begin the game, you will have a base stat when you first start off the game. You're going to have to roll, which will be your humanity meter. Humanity, once it leaves to 0, you are in risk of cyber psychosis, which is an automatic, pretty much you can't control your character, and random events will trigger, causing you to either A, hurt your party members, B, you going through, hurting yourself, or C, messing up the mission. So, with this being said here, you gotta really play your game really, really carefully, because too much chrome on your dome will cause you to kill yourself almost. With that being said here, I'm here to talk about their strengths, their weaknesses, and pretty much who will win an actual battle between the legends of V versus David. So let's get into it. So starting it off, we're going to talk about a character that everyone knows, David. We know his story from the beginning to the end. He was an Arasaka student, super high-tech in intelligence, and had a great affinity to cybernetics, which allows him to be one of the hugest people because, again, he scored really, really high on his humanity check. David was able to handle the Sandanistan, which is one of the high-grade level antique cybernetic wear in the game, while also equipping a plasma arm cannon, which also on top of that there is a huge military group. It's not a high class like the Sandanistan, but it is a huge notion of power. The reason why the Sandanistan is one of the powerfulest, it is one of the top-ranking mechanics of cyberware that allows the user to pretty much break reality. The Sandanistan allows you to slow down time. There is a BioWell mail chip that allows you to black out the whole cybernetic usage by using blackout, and it was made by one of the first netrunners in the game. I gotta remember his name. It's something Bassman. I'll probably have it show his name in the editing when I do this, but he was the netrunner that actually broke down the cybernet and was put pretty much on public enemy number 1, where they had a bounty of 4 million on his head, dead or alive. And every day it was growing by the thousands. But again, with that whole entire story for another day, I digress to the next point. David was someone that had a lot of humanity, but not a lot of fighting skill. David really didn't, want to kill anyone in the beginning. He was more hesitant. He didn't like to fire guns. He would stand up and fight for what he believed in, for the people that he cared about, but he wouldn't really, kill anybody. Up until the scene, which allowed him to actually go extra head. Now, again, spoilers ahead, do know that this will be heavily spoiled to all those that have not seen Edgerunners, which I definitely recommend you do. But I digress. With this being said here, it is basically one of the biggest things that holds him back. Up until the very end, he had no problem with killing own people after he has seen so much loss. And he had come to the understanding that with loss comes sacrifice, and with sacrifice comes pity. He did not want to be pitied. He has a great amount of tools at his disposal to fight with. He has gorilla arms, which I don't know how he's min-maxing these abilities of cybernetics, because gorilla arms and arm cannons are two separate cybernetics that you can't really have on your character at the same time. Side mission for I can't remember his name, but the guy in the apartment that you guys live in, and you win, you get the pistol that David uses. It is not red, but it's the legendary version of it. With this pistol and caliber, it is a very strong weapon, and it can bounce bullets off of hard surfaces. With this being said here, he has the ability to move around at pretty much light speed while getting perfect headshots while people can't move. Now, the problem with this being said is that he doesn't have too much. He can't, how to put it, he can't withstand the strain forever. He is going to need a moment to take a breather to calm down. His stamina is not infinite. So with this being said here, those are David's plus, negatives, and pretty much the basic gist around him without spoiling too much. Now, what happens is with V, or Vincent, as I'm going to be calling him in this series, Vincent is on a whole nother level. Vincent has no humanity, but he is not cybernetically enhanced to the point where he goes into cyberpsychosis. The reason why V in the whole entire story and everything else doesn't go through cyberpsychosis and anything else is like that is because of the factor that V already has a huge negative bonus against people. He doesn't deal with them in the positive way. V, in the actual consistency of the story, is very, very violent. And I mean, when I say very, very violent, unless you are really cool with him, you are dead to him. V does not have a problem with running down children, throwing grenades at things. He has the instance of sympathy, though. That's why he won't do it. He'll think about it. He'll be like, chill, I'm not going to do this. But he would have still done it if it was necessary. V is a very huge radical realist, and he is not going to get up on his own morals. Anything that stands in the way of his journey will allow them, I pray for them on the way, because anything that stands in this man's way will get stepped over, if not blown up. V cybernetic enhancements is pretty much a long list. He has a Sandana stat. He has actually mantis arms. He also has a Kawoshi. I can't even pronounce this right. Also, we'll spell this in there. But he has a Kawoshi Spine Net Super Eyes, which are one of the legendary variants, allow him to identify, scan, and also on top of that there, see anyone through walls and also hack into. He has a data netrunner chip, which is a chip that has a 7-slot issues. We're allowing him to use mind wipe, cyberpsychosis, suicide, and also on top of that there, the greatest went out when he found the actual database from Batwater is again blackout. It is an ultimate version of where if you start the game and actual D&D, you can start with the game or a system called Reset. Reset makes everyone in the area that spreads to pretty much forget everything that happened for the last 30 seconds. And as you progress, you can upgrade this skill to System Reset, which throws whoever has this onto them into a pretty much reset format. They go unconscious, and they're not going to wake up until like at least around 3 hours. To then from there is System Wipe. System Wipe allows you to erase them from existence, basically destroying their whole neural network, making them into a husk of a being, which then upgrades to the final version and the ultimate itself, Blackout. Blackout is a huge radius spread spell or hack. It literally destroys everything in the whole entire 40 to 50 mile radius. If you want to think of it in a layman's terms to D&D standards, it is like casting an Omega fireball in a cave room with everything looking at you. It is basically almost suicide. V is on demon times every step of the way. Not only does this man have the same kid as David, but the thing about it that kills it out of the water is that he is more equipped to fight. V is a street kid that's always been around, hanging out in haywater, fighting, gunslinging, and killing since he was 13. He was already bred for this fight before anyone stepped up. V's parents were very abusive. His dad was the one that actually pushed him into actually fighting as much, and he was first victim. His mom abandoned him after seeing that he killed his father. From there, Padre, the one actual, big guy that was out there, took him in and raised him. As he grew up, he started doing jobs and work for them. That's the reason why they work together and they know each other very long. V is always ready for a battle. Whether it be with tech weapons, grenades, you can name a whole plethora of weapons and he is skilled with it. But what really sets him to the different somatic something higher was that he, instead of using guns, he prefers using katanas and knives, nicknaming him the Samurai. V uses his Sandana stand and his cybernetic enhancements, while also his cyber deck, to allow him to pretty much traverse behind enemy lines and behind everyone with the blink of an eye, cutting them down before they can even get the chance. He is the ultimate assassin, gun for hire, and that is what makes him so powerful. He is decked out to the T. He is in his own right a walking goddamn cyber unit without being a Borg or anything. He's not fully a Borg yet. He is approximately, if anything, 45% cybernetics, and the rest is all human. He is a living legend up until the accident. Again, sorry for spoilers, but he was destined to be something great up until his accident. Once that happened, he ran out of time. Cyberpunk 2077 is without a doubt the craziest thing about it. It's only in-game time, really and truly, supposed to be 1 month. That's it. He has 1 month to live, basically, and he became the living legend. It started off with a week, and as he started to understand Johnny, started to meld with him, Johnny eased up, and the cybernetics of the chip, the actual neural links, stopped killing him for a minute to give him time, and with the amino blockers, it allows him to push it further. Once he gave in, though, that's when it started to pick up again. So that's why they were always balancing it out. Johnny will take the body over sometimes and Johnny won't. This gave V enough time to actually try to figure out a way. And the true canon ending, technically speaking, I can't say for sure, but how I consider it is V becoming the living legend that he is, destroying Arasaka. Because that is the story that everybody wins. He fell in love, got with the girl that he loves, got the memory, and became the legend that he sought out to be. And he wanted to go out in a glorious way, robbing the biggest casino out in space. Let me say that again. He robbed the biggest casino, a casino space station, out in space. So, I mean, if you're gonna ask me, and with all these people that have been talking about it, David versus V, man, there's no point in this conversation. David will give V a run for his money, but in the end, my boy David, he cannot. There's no way. It's gonna be a mid-diff for V to handle this boy. And that's like really pushing it, because it's supposed to be a low mid. And I mean really out there, because again, V is breaded for murder. He's ready for the action. David doesn't have the skill or capacity to go that distance, so that's my whole entire thing. If the question was versus V versus David in a death battle, who will win? V is the winner. Take it easy, guys. And again, if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Other than that, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.